Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be making a video about my scariest paranormal experience. I know I haven't been doing any paranormal videos or anything before, but if you've read my blog, which you probably haven't, but if you have, I used to write some paranormal experiences. Another reason that spurred me to do this was I've been watching a lot of old Graveyard Girl videos from when she first started making them, when she did a lot more paranormal videos, and so it inspired me to talk about my most terrifying experience that I've had, which may seem kind of silly, um, because in a lot of ways, like, nothing happened, but at the same time, stuff did happen. So, anyway, I'll just get right into it. Also, sorry about my face. I know I shouldn't be apologizing about my acne, but it's really bad today, and I want to do cute makeup. Also, I got the Jeffree Star Beauty Killer Eye Shadow Palette, and so that's what's on my eyes today. Yeah, so anyway, and also my cat Luna. Usually I make my bed before doing a video, but she just is so cute, like, there. She just looks so comfy, so I didn't want to disturb her. So, now that I got a 2-minute long intro out of the way, I'll just jump right into it. So, if you don't know this, I live in Colorado. I try to be kind of vague about where in Colorado I live, but I do live in Colorado, which is in the United States, if you're not sure about that. And so Colorado is kind of an old state. We're like on the west. And so there are like lots of haunted places all over Colorado. So this one day my boyfriend and I were kind of bored, didn't really know what to do, and we both like sort of spooky, scary stuff. So we thought, oh hey, let's look up some like haunted places in Colorado. So we found this like master list that was talking about some places. Some of them we'd already been to, some of them were like high schools and stuff, so we like obviously couldn't go there. But one of them came up, and if you're familiar with Colorado, it was in the Thornton area, which is sort of north, in the northern side of Colorado, and it was called Riverdale Road. And it didn't say a whole lot about it, but it definitely sounded really intriguing and really creepy, so we thought we would go there. So we're driving up to Thornton, he was driving, so I was looking up like I guess folklore or scary things that had happened there. What I found out was that there were a lot of like car accidents there, lots of murders had happened there, and then there was also like rumored to be a lot of satanic cult activity in that area. So we were getting really excited, kind of nervous, but we drove up there, and it's like basically once you get there, it's like this really long road, and on one side there's like sort of a creek for most of it, and it's like very rural. There's like a huge field, like it's really grassy. There are lots of big cottonwood trees that look kind of creepy and like overhangy. And then on the other side there's some residential areas, and then there's some turnoffs. But it's not like super residential. It's like in more of a rural area, like an underdeveloped rural area. So that's what it sort of looks like. So we were coming down this way with the rural area on the left, or the rural residential area on the left, and then like the creek and the field on the right. And as we're going down this road, there are tons of signs on either side of the road all the way down saying, like, don't text and drive, or don't drink and drive, and like there are a couple crosses that say like in memory of this person, or like in loving memory of this person, do not drink and drive. And there are 2 lanes, one going this way, one going that way, and it like curves around, and it's a pretty long road. The speed limit, I believe, is either 35 or 45 miles per hour. But from our experience there, people love to just like speed down the road. So you could tell from like just going down it that lots of accidents happen on the road, and partially you could guess that it's because of the way it's set up. There's not like a whole lot of areas to turn off at. It's just this big long road, and then there are also a couple street lights, but there's not a whole lot because it is kind of rural. There are also some areas where the turnoffs are dirt roads, so it makes sense why there are so many accidents there, and there are so many like crosses and memorial signs like all down the whole road. So we noticed that, and that was sort of creepy. We could tell like already there probably is some sort of like paranormal activity happening just due to the sheer amount of deaths that have clearly happened on this road. That like, and if you go online and you look at like accident records, like there's like you could look up accidents in like a certain areas, and there are a ton on Riverdale Road, a ton of fatal accidents you can look up. Like you could Google it right now if you were interested. Tons of them, and tons of accidents that weren't fatal but caused people to be paralyzed, like, and they're popping up all the time because it is such a small road that people like to speed on, and it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, not totally but a little bit. So we were driving down it, and I was reading about like all sorts of things that were like creepy that had happened there. A lot of people say that there was like a satanic cult that in this like chicken coop that's sort of off to the side, like they like sacrifice like a ton of dogs or skinned a ton of dogs, and that you can hear howling. And then there's also like if you like park like in one of the fields, like apparently you're supposed to hear like drums beating or something like that, and then you're supposed to see like a white ghost that like will get in your car and like we'll ask for a ride, and like you'll give her a ride, and then like you'll turn around and she's gone or whatever. We didn't really experience any of that, but we're just going down the road, and I was sort of like disappointed. I was like, this isn't really that cool. Like, I mean, there's a ton of signs, and we were looking for like the haunted chicken coop and stuff, which we didn't really find. And so we were going down it the first time, and there was nothing really creepy. And then we turned off onto like this dirt road part, and we were going down, and then like, oh, my stomach dropped. I felt like really scared suddenly, like out of nowhere. And like the whole time I was feeling like it was really anticlimactic, but like suddenly like I got all freaked out. And then we had finished going all the way down the road and turned onto a different main street, and we stopped in by a convenience store, and I was looking it up. And the dirt road that we had turned on, apparently there was an accident where like this mother died, and there were her two kids, which I couldn't find an article about. But there were a lot of like accounts of it happening, and so like that sort of weirded me out because I was like, oh my god, like I got weird feelings right in the area that it was, without knowing that there was an accident there previously. So then we turned around, and we were going the opposite way down the road, and we wanted to go kind of slow. It was like sort of dusk time. That first thing creeped me out, so I was a little on edge, but we wanted to like go slowly down the road because you're supposed to find like there's a tree with like a human like figure burned into it and stuff, and we're still trying to find the chicken coop. So we're going pretty slow down this road. We're going like 30 miles per hour or so, and this person comes up behind us with their headlights, and we see them, and we're like, oh, we need to go faster. Like, we can't go slow because this person's trying to get by, and there are only 2 lanes, and they can't pass us. So we went up to speed, and I was talking to my boyfriend on off, and I said, okay, like at the next turn off, because here, since we were going the other way, here's like the plains, I guess. Here's like the field, and then here's like where some residential people are. And I was like, hey, at the next place you can turn, you should just turn off onto a street so that we can let this person pass, and then we could go however fast we want. So we're going, and I'm actively looking for a place to turn off, and I look in the rear view mirror, and I see like, oh, there's like the person still behind us. And then we're coming up to the first turn, and we were looking on the other side too. Like, we were just actively looking for somewhere to turn, but there wasn't really anywhere on this side of it. So we're coming up to the first turn, and on off puts his blinker on, and we look behind us, and the car's gone. And we were like, where did the car go? Like, that's so weird. Like, we just saw them, and there wasn't really anywhere to turn because we were actively looking for a place to turn. So we were just like, whatever, that was super weird. Maybe they like turned into the grass or something. But it's kind of like the road is elevated, and like if you went down into the grass, like you would have to like go it would be like kind of like a fall, not like a huge one, but it would have been like somewhat of a drop. And then there are like houses on the other side. They can't like just turn into somebody's like fence without us noticing, so it was sort of strange. And then we're still driving down this road going pretty slow. We found like the chicken coop area, and it was really sort of creepy, and there was like a heavy feeling over there. I didn't really like it, and it was sort of freaking me out. And I was like, I don't really want to stay over here, so let's go. So we're going down the road again, and we're still going pretty slow, still trying to find that tree that has like a person's body in it or something. And we're going like 25 miles per hour or something, and this person comes up behind us, and we're like, oh, we gotta go faster. We can't just like dilly-dally or whatever, and we'll look for a turn so that we can let them pass us, and then we could continue going. Because there aren't really like sides of the road to pull off on, or like I don't know, there's not like a shoulder. So we're going, and I'm looking in the rear view mirror. He's looking in the rear view mirror too, and like we see this car, and we're like, oh, we gotta go. And we're looking for another place to turn off, and we get to a place to turn, and on-off turns on his blinker again, and we look behind us, and there's no car. And at that point, we were sort of creeped out. We're like, oh my gosh, like, where do these cars keep going? Like, that's super weird. Like, is there like a turn that we don't know about? Like, is there like a way to get off this road that isn't obvious? Like, and we were super confused. There were also like signs with like handprints on them. I don't know if that's mud or not. Like, there could always be like kids putting their hands on it. But like the cars started to make me feel uneasy. So we get to the end of the road, and we turn back around to go this way again. Still looking for like creepy stuff and seeing if we could feel anything. And I think the car thing happened to us one more time, where there was a person behind us, headlights, and then like they left, like we didn't see them again. And then we like turned back around one more time, and when we were passing the chicken coop, I felt like I was gonna throw up and stuff. And then after we like had gotten off the road and turned, we both felt like there was something in the car with us. And I couldn't put my finger on it, but I kept like turning around to like make sure there wasn't anyone in the back seat. Even though I knew there wasn't, but like we both felt like we were being watched like the whole time. So we're driving around. We sort of just drove around Colorado and Denver a little bit to like, I guess like get our minds off of it, but we both were feeling really uneasy, and we were both feeling like somebody was watching us. And we started like freaking out a little bit more. It could have just been both of us like hyping each other up, but it like I kept feeling like someone was in the back seat. And at first I thought it was just me, because I didn't tell on-off that I was feeling this way, and I kept looking behind us and no one was there. But then I feel like somebody was there again, and I kept looking back. And then on-off was like, do you feel like we're being watched or something? And I was like, yeah, that's sort of weird, because I was feeling like that too, but I didn't want to say anything. I thought I was being weird. And he was like, no. And so he dropped me off, and he was sort of like nervous for me to leave, because he sort of felt like he was not wanting me to like leave the car, because he sort of felt like somebody was in there. And so I was like, let's go in my house for a little bit to like calm down. Like, we're probably just freaking each other out. So we go in and we tell my mom what's happening, and she's like, that sounds like there's like no good stuff there. Because I was telling her how I was feeling sick and how I felt like really scared, even though nothing really was happening. And she was like, well, maybe it's because of all the satanic like stuff there. There's just like a bad air over it. It's not really haunted. It just has like negative energy there. And I was like, that's probably it. And so we started talking about other stuff. He stayed over for like an hour. We did whatever. We were talking to my mom and my sister. It was like totally fine. And then when he was leaving, like we got back to his car, and I was suddenly scared again. And I was just like, I just like, will you please text me when you get home? Like, I don't know why, I just feel like really weirded out. And like after that, like I had like these terrible, super violent nightmares for like weeks. And I'm not even exaggerating. And I love paranormal stuff. Like, my friends and I stayed at the Stanley before, and like I love to like ghost hunt. I don't really go out of my way to ghost hunt, but like I'm the person who, when I'm in that situation, I'm like, oh, that, like, let's go do that. Let's go do that creepy thing. Or like, yeah, come on, let's do it. Like, I'm the person who's not like, I don't get freaked out about that kind of thing. But like, I didn't want to have anything to do with ghosts for like, and even talking about it, I feel kind of sick. Like, and I was super sick. Like, after those, like, the next couple days, I felt like sick to my stomach, and like I had a headache all the time. Even talking about it, I'm starting to feel really sick. Like I had a headache all the time, and I kept having these like horribly like violent nightmares, and like I just felt like whatever it was stayed with me. And whenever I would get into On-Off's car, like for the whole month after we went there, like it just felt like creepy, and I kept thinking someone was in the back seat. And I mean, this was days after we went, and we had to go to Thornton again for like some reason, and I just like did not want to go, and it was super creepy, and like just the whole experience like left a huge mark on me. And like it the other day I decided that like I want to like start like looking for like haunted places again, or like going to creepy places, or what have you, like going back to the Stanley or whatever. But like after I went to Riverdale Road, even though there was like nothing that happened to me directly, I got really sick after. I was like throwing up. I was like having these terrible nightmares, and like I just felt like really anxious all the time. I felt really sad, and like I just like I felt really tortured. And I had talked to On-Off about this too, and right after, he was feeling really weirded out like that too. He was like, yeah, I just don't want to go back there. And we both were like, never again. Like, we're never going back there again. Like, we don't know why. Like, nothing like directly happened to us, but just being around that sort of thing, it was just terrifying. So I always tell people, like, don't go there, because it's like so bad. And like I can't even express to you, like, and I know Graveyard Girl has a story kind of like that, where she went to a grave and got really bad feelings, and then had a car accident, had like her dog die and stuff like that right after she like went to this place. And I think that it's capable of happening. Maybe that's just me, but yeah, this was like super terrifying. It was so bad. Like I think this was a year ago, and it's still like, I think about it sometimes and it freaks me out. And I always tell my friends, don't go to Riverdale Road. So if you ever are told to go to Riverdale Road, just say no, because it's not worth it, and you're not going to see anything. Like, you're not going to see like that much activity, like for real. Like, it's not nothing. Like, we didn't experience anything that had happened there that a lot of people talk about, but it wasn't worth it. So I guess that's my video today. I'll probably make a couple of videos about my experience at the Stanley and some other like cool paranormal things, because I'm feeling like, I don't know, all sorts of excited to do this. And I apologize for the super long video, but I like making long videos. It's hard for me to just like make a short video. So thank you for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, and look at how cute she is. Bye.